I'm Tamina. I'm a psychotherapist with a specialization in eating disorders. I have made a video exploring body dysmorphia and explained how it can impact us. However, it can sometimes be hard to distinguish body dysmorphia from feeling insecure. However, body dysmorphia, also called body dysmorphic disorder, differs from ordinarily feeling insecure about appearance in several significant ways. While many people experience occasional self-consciousness or even dissatisfaction with how they look, body dysmorphia involves a more intense and debilitating obsession-like feeling with things that a person perceives as flaws. So here are some big differences. Number one is the intensity of the focus. So that is how we perceive the actual physical flaw that we think we have, and that can become quite obsessive. A person with body dysmorphia might spend hours every day thinking about their appearance, checking their appearance, to the point where it dominates all thoughts and interferes with the ability to function. However, when we're insecure, insecurities are usually more fleeting and less all-consuming. You might feel uncomfortable about certain aspects of your appearance, but you can generally move on to focus on other things and engage with your daily life. Another key difference is the distortion of perception. So individuals with body dysmorphia have a distorted view of their appearance. They see flaws that others call minor or that others don't even know exist or are able to see. When we're insecure, we have some feelings about our appearance that we're unhappy with. There are certain aspects like weight or skin, but to be honest, most people that have an insecurity have a generally accurate view of how they look. They might wish that they look different, but they don't see their appearance in a completely distorted way. Another core difference is the impact on daily life. Body dysmorphia can severely interfere with daily functioning. A person might avoid social situations, might even avoid work or school because of overwhelming anxiety about their appearance, even going as far as seeking medical treatment or surgery. However, a person with insecurity can be very impacted in their self-esteem and feel uncomfortable, but it is less likely to prevent them from going about their daily activities or participating in their social life. Which brings us to another key difference, which are obsessive and compulsive behaviors. And this is a very key difference. People with body dysmorphia have very compulsive behaviors that can become a significant problem. So individuals might notice that they're excessively checking the mirrors, always checking their reflections, repeatedly asking other people for reassurance, picking at their skin, and seeking cosmetic surgeries. These are all very time-consuming behaviors and often increase anxiety and don't actually provide any relief. It is important that this type of behavior feels very important to this person and feels like it is necessary for them. However, a person with insecurity might just, check the mirror every now and again, change their outfit a few times before they leave the house. But this behavior is usually limited and doesn't take over their life. Which brings us to one last key difference, which is emotional distress. Body dysmorphia is associated with severe emotional distress, including extreme anxiety, depression, and sometimes even suicidal thoughts. The distress comes from a deeply, deeply rooted belief that something is fundamentally wrong with them or their appearance, which leads to consistent emotional strain. On the other hand, an insecurity can cause discomfort and self-consciousness, which are still not nice things to feel, but the emotional impact is usually manageable. People can feel disappointed, they can feel sad, and these are very valid feelings, but they may not experience extreme emotional suffering or despair. This can lead to a big difference in the way that people should respond to reassurance. People with body dysmorphia can often not be reassured at all. They might think that the other person is lying or that they just simply don't believe them. It feels like the other person is not able to truly see them, and other people telling them that they look fine does not change anything. They continue to feel the same way, regardless of feedback. However, when we're feeling insecure, someone giving us a compliment or reassurance often helps feel a little bit better. You might still have some doubts, but reassurance can offer some comfort. So, maybe to summarize this all together, body dysmorphia is a serious mental health condition and is often linked to underlying conditions, such as eating disorders. If any of the things that I've mentioned in relation to body dysmorphia feel familiar, this might be a really good time to think about seeking professional help. I'm Tamina. I'm a licensed psychotherapist. I work with young people, adults, couples, and families. Now I run a private practice called Tamina Counseling, where I specialize in working with relationships, trauma, anxiety management, and particularly eating disorders. You can find my educational videos on these topics on my website, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok at Tamina Counseling, which is linked below. Today I spent the day filming with the lovely team at Mindfriend, so stay tuned for any upcoming content.